Okay guys, I'm back again. So here's my continuation. Oh, why are we beeping? Should not be beeping. No, it deactivated my pod. Ugh. It's telling me insulin delivery stopped, which is an error. It's a new pod. So I'll have to replace the pod. Just gotta get it to shut up. What I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna replace it right now. I'll replace it off camera later. I just don't feel like it right now. I need to go and check my Dexcom. My Dexcom will be done warming up in about 17 minutes. But anyways, it's not about this. What I'm gonna do is ignore this because that was a waste. Oh, I hate when that does that. Take this off because there's no point in having it on. It's not giving me insulin even though I just did what I did. And that happens sometimes. The Omnipods, sometimes I'll have a glitch with it and it will stop working, or I'll have a glitch with my G7 and it won't work. So this will go with my needle to go into my sharps container, and then I'll have my child come in and hand me another pod, and I'll do that while I'm hooked up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give myself I'm going to get myself hooked up for my pump, for everything else. So I like using gloves for this part only because I'm weird. No, I just like to use gloves for this part. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how I do my infusion. I've already rolled up my shirt. I'm wearing 2 t-shirts. I had to roll it up. Clearly you can see I'm top heavy, and I'm a bit, chunky, as we say. I'm a whole lot of overweight. I don't have a problem in calling myself a fat girl right now because this is not my normal size. I'm normally smaller, but with my autoimmune condition and the constant need for prednisone and high doses of it, I've packed on the weight over the years after years of doing steroids and no treatment for the autoimmune and whatnot. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I will be using I call it my little fat packs. This is going to be delivered sub-Q, which is subdermal. Is going to be done in the skin. The needles are very short. I'll show you what those look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these big ones first. So I'll be like three needles or 3 syringes going onto this machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part here. It has a cap. I'm going to undo that cap, and then I'm going to take this part. I like to save this piece because it's a great piece to use on the tip of this, because it's the same type tip that's on my lactated ringer. So I like to put this on there and use that cap, this cap, when I need to go to the restroom. I can disconnect, add this piece on, and it keeps the fluid in place. So I always put that off to the side and save it. This cap that came off is too short, so I can't use this one. I discovered because it causes a leak. But this cap, I can take this cap off and place that cap here as a backup is what I call it. I place that on here. It keeps this port nice and covered. And then, like I said, I use this when I'm disconnecting. The other one I don't use, but I can use. I have used it in the past. For, like I said, if I'm going to the restroom, I can take this little cap and I will cap off my port that goes into my heart. Mind you, since I have to infuse 500 cc's or 500 mLs of lactated ringer today, I have to do another 500 mLs tomorrow. So this port does not come out until tomorrow. So I just have to make sure that things stay, safe. So what I'm doing here is on this end, I'm gonna untangle this piece because this part gets attached to my syringe. This part gets attached to this. Since I just uncapped them, I'm gonna go ahead and marry these two pieces up, and then I'm gonna tighten it down. I'm gonna take this and I'm going to marry it to this syringe first by removing this little cap, put it off to the side, and then I'll take this and I'll put it on here like so. This doesn't have to be sterilized because it's already sterile. And then I have my little 4 little needles that are here. So I have to prime this. So I like to start my prime by adding just enough pressure to get this going. It don't like me right now. And sometimes I run into that, guys. I'm not that strong. And because I'm not that strong, we'll do this a different way. What I do is, these have paper on them. I disconnect the paper. Or I take off the paper. These are these are the needles on the ends of this. It's a small little needle. This comes off, this butterflies out. And then you can see it's a very, very tiny needle. But that's what's gonna go into my abdomen. So what I like to do is I leave this on, this little safety piece on for now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spread out, take these papers off, and then I usually will take them off and I unravel and detangle, so to speak. And then keep doing that until I get them all undone and prepped. And then what I'm gonna do next is do my darndest to get fluid into more trash, go away. Now that these are done, I like to dangle, and then I have to get some fluid in here. So there we go. This is a whole lot of hard for me. Good Lord. So just checking some stuff, guys. Sometimes I get random sensations, so I don't be knowing. No, something is leaking here. Oh, okay, it's coming from here. Did I already get fluids that far? When I didn't think it was going? Huh. I must have. Alright, so anyways, I just primed this. So now that that's primed, I'm going to take this and this. I always recheck it. Make sure that it's nice. This is an adapter. I place this into here. And then I make sure I have it to where I can see it. I'm going to put that off to the side for now. And then I'm going to separate these into 2 sets of tubes. And what I do is I like to angle my needles in the direction that I'm putting the pump. So since the pump is this way, I want all my lines to run in this direction. So I'm going to start with the outermost side of myself, and that's where I'm going to apply my alcohol and start doing my insert. So that means I find my place where I want to apply, and I apply an over amount of alcohol, and I like to do what I got to do here. So all my alcohol is applied to my little pinch points, as I like to call them. Put that off to the side. I get these here to get them prepped because I'll be using those. And now I'm going to start applying these. So I take off the little white piece and then this little tip piece that comes off. I squeeze where I'm going to go. And then I insert needle 1. Needle 1 is in. And then I apply my overlayment, my little bandage, my IV 300, and then I can't see, but it's not taken. So, yeah, my boobs are a mess. They're hiding in my way. I'm trying to get this to separate. It doesn't want to separate sometimes, and that happens. There we go. All right, so take that off, add it to my pile of things to throw away. So 1 needle's in, and then I go for the next needle. It's gonna be this one, because it's gonna be 4 little jabs. Take that piece off, take this off, and then I go 2 inches away, nowhere near my belly button's here. I have to be away from it, so my next one is going to go here. I like to pinch it to give it some counter. I don't know how to really express that, but it's to make it so I don't focus on it, the needle going in. Like I said, I don't have sensations everywhere, but every now and again, things can be hypersensitive. Okay, so then this is going to go on. Help keep it in place. Okay, yeah, that came off good. All right. And then I'm going to go to the next needle. Yeah, I'll take this one. And here I'll show you again up close. So I'm going to take this piece off, put it off, and then pull the wings back, which I'm holding, and then there's another safety feature. Take that, and then with this hand, I will come over and give myself, I'll do a pinch and jab. That one actually hurts. They don't always hurt, because it is a very tiny needle, but sometimes the dolls, and that was one of those moments. All right, so take this on here, trying not to lose it to getting lost with my boxes here. And then my very last one is here. Oh, for the love of God, that hurt. I will say that sometimes, most times, it's always easier if someone else is giving you a jab versus you having to give yourself a jab. Me, I tend to hyper focus, so it sucks most days when I have to do this. But anyways, all that's done. Now that these are all hooked and down, Now, and this is already primed. Now, this I take and I switch it from off to on. And now it's ready, it's running. And now this will automatically prime itself to here, and it will slowly push the medicine, the IVIG, into my abdomen. So I'll sit this off to the side and keep an eye on it. And that's pretty much what I do. And then that is what's going to take place over the next few hours, is that this will just keep going until it's all said and done. And this is letting me know that my sugar levels are extremely high. My insulin pump did not take, so I'll have to put another one in order to get everything to go back down. I'll call my daughter and she'll hand me another pump and I will do the insulin. But for now, that's everything. I just take all the trash that remains. I throw all the trash off to the side into a bag that I keep in the room for this purpose. And yeah, that's what I do. And then, like, I'm not gonna lie, I tend to, once that's all hooked, I pull my shirt down. I get myself comfortable and I do homework, I read, or I study. And in this case, I'm doing videos while I'm going to be hooked up for the next several hours, just getting these medicines, and I'll swap it through until I'm done. So that's me and what I do for my infusions. You all have a lovely day. Bye.